MrYorkieLoverFitness.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the first man to build 21-inch biceps, drug-free.
My friends, this is the old man, that's senile, that this fellow from Vegan Gains is talking about on his video. And you know where this man should be instead of trying to promote a diet that is absolutely ridiculous, which I have no respect for? Instead of him trying to promote that, he was putting across my age and putting on blackface and a blonde wig, and his time was spent ridiculing me and talking about, which fascinates me. And what fascinates me is that he's so retarded. In my sense, this man's retarded. This man really should be looked at not as a terrorist, but as a guy that needs psychological help. Now here it is, it's 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'm the type of guy can't go to bed and can't get up. You know why? Because they've just been good to me, because I've been eating right. I've been doing right. Now, let me tell you something. I got quite annoyed, but I shouldn't get annoyed. I'm too old to get annoyed. I said, here's this fool making blackface and blonde wig. In other words, I'm just an old black fool. Black Sambo was what he was trying to put across. Then he put in his video that if I was born in the 30s and how they mistreated black people, and he's equating the treatment of black people to chicken that you eat. And I said, this man needs help. I have no use for vegans at all, none. I have no use for it. I have none use for the diet or nothing. But the worst salesman they could possibly have is the likes of this guy. Now, he comes up with this great exposure. Carl Lewis in the 90s, because they didn't have vegan, it was all vegetarian. He decided he was vegetarian. Big deal. Then he found some guy nobody ever heard of that was also supposed to be a vegan. Well, let me tell you something, my friends. I've had over 50 years in bodybuilding and training people and telling them how to eat, but not Barry Bonds. We all know Barry Bonds and know anything. One of the number one home run punches in the country, in the world. First, that overran even Hank Aaron's record. He would come into the store and we would spend hours me telling him how to improve his diet to become stronger. Even though he was, they say he was taking the drugs, he didn't feel the strength he thought he should feel. He wasn't getting the nutrients that he thought he should be getting. I also informed Mike Tyson before he became champion even on how to eat. James Toney, the man that won the light heavyweight championship, when they used to call him 5-round James, because they knew after 5 rounds he ran out of gas. You know why? He was on the watercress sandwiches. I had another fighter that I brought up and trained in how to better make himself strong and resilient. Terrence Ali never became champion, but he was a tremendous fighter. He fought the best. These guys all, I have a whole line of people that came in to see 18-inch Leroy. I'm 18-inch. Whatever. 21-inch Leroy. Now that, my friends, is a sideline to my service to the athletes, the genuine performing athletes, that I don't have to go back 20 years to find one struggling along at the end of his career. Now the point simply is, This guy, if you ever look me up, he should, I have a background, my friends, of famous people, famous athletes that came to Leroy Colbert for advice on improving their performance. Now, James Toney, that became light heavyweight champion, was called a 5-round fighter. You know why? Because he wasn't a vegan, what's called, but he was into the vegetable bag. Doesn't build sustain strength and energy. He ran out of gas. And used to be, once you get past 5 rounds with James Toney, you got to fight. So when his manager brought him to me, and he said, Leroy, I hear you could, guys, you help guys a lot. Is there anything you can do for James? I said, James, what you eat? When James told me what he was eating, I said, James, you know what you put on your plate? You put steak, you put chicken, you put fish, but I'm making it small now, narrating it. I said, you got to take stuff that the body calls on and the command, not watercress sandwiches. When he started taking it, he was astounded how much stronger and how his resilience, how more resilient he came. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because I have genuine examples of the people of today, not 20, 30 years ago. If this, as I had said previously, if it was anything to this vegan stuff this guy is talking about, he wouldn't have said a word. It'd be out. They'd be lined up trying to get in touch with him. And you know what fascinates me with this guy is that he's so busy putting people down. Now, he's got a book. He comes out with studies. And all these so-called studies, what half of them they call the pervasive rhythm, they have a study today, they contract a study the next day. But the point is, what kind of athlete are any of these studies are? Can you imagine Barry Bonds, a great home run hitter, batter, coming to me, and I'm pulling out a book about what some cardiologist said? Or do you think I'm a nut? I didn't pull out a book. I told him what he had to do, how he didn't increase his protein. I gave him genuine protein powder, not as the mainstay, but as a backup. And the response was fantastic. He would come into the store and we would sit down for hours talking. This is my dedication to bodybuilding. This is my dedication to building your body really scientifically and not playing emotional games. My friends, nutrition is not an exercise in emotion. It's an exercise in reality. If you want to sit around and stroke yourself about the dead animals, that's fine. As I said previously, if animals impress you that much, go to the zoo. But they belong in your body. I trained and built my body primarily on the sustaining protein, animal, fish, chicken, eggs. That's the kind of stuff we ate, primarily. And you know, I'm still kicking. Now, I'm at the stage of my life, I can go any minute. But the point is, I'm full of vim and vigor at this time, and I'm giving you genuine examples of my instructions to these athletes. These are not athletes you got to go in the history book to read about. These are present day athletes. Now he's going to sit back and rev, oh, you got 18, and that's all he knows. That's how dumb he is. If he had any brains, he'd go onto a computer and find out there's a lot more to me than 21-inch arms. But no, he's so busy knocking. And see, the point is, my friends, if he had anything tangible to say, my friends, he wouldn't be sitting back there talking about, you know, that's all I am. He would know better. But that's how he's so busy trying to defend nothing. You know, actually, you may see me like I'm not like I'm stumbling almost in a sense, only because I'm talking to you in a more of an emotional manner than I should be. I should be more relaxed. But really got me emotionally was the Sambo thing he put out. I said, now this guy's supposed to be selling a form of life, and he had nothing better to do than to put out a black Sambo caricature of me. In other words, I'm just an old black man flipping his lips. Well, I tell you something. Talk to it's all on the internet. Talk to all the guys, Robert Blake. I mean, the actors that came and talk to them. And let them, but you're not going to do that because that'll nip your parade. Your parade is to demean. Your parade is to memonize. Your parade is to pull out books. Can you imagine in your wildest dreams Barry Bonds coming in there talking to me about nutrition, and I'm pulling out some cardiologist book? And that cardiologist probably never did anything but sit before a tube and fantasize. And be careful of what they call the pervasive wisdom. But the main reason I'm making this return and talking the way I'm talking is because I was astounded that instead of trying to approach what I was saying with any kind of stability and sense, he's been mimicking an old man, black man. Of course, he had to make the black face that can hardly walk. That was his mimicking of me. But I can tell you one thing, my friend. He'll never reach mine because he's not stable enough to reach my age. He belongs in an institution now to find out where his head is going, because it's not going in the right direction. That's what I want to say about this vegan gain thing. It just annoys the hell out of me because I have results, not fantasies, of my teachings of what builds the body and what the body needs. Fruits and vegetables are fine. They're complement to the diet. But if you want a solid diet that the body can call on, buddy, you get that ribeye, medium rare. Then you got the stuff. Now he can sit there and worry all about he wants about the chickens and the animals. He don't worry about that. Don't try to exploit it because it's not going anywhere. You'll have your legions because I'll tell you something. It's a world of cults, and there's nothing but a cult. And I'll tell you another thing. In this world, there's plenty of them. There's 1,001 cults. You can say anything and you get a following. But I can tell you one thing. I wouldn't even mention this so-called vegan diet to anybody that's serious about building their bodies. I wouldn't even mention it to them. So I'm just telling you this, and I'm telling you this in semi-hostility. Because this guy infuriates me. Hey, you can push the vegan diet, but have somebody better than this guy. He don't know from nothing. Then he goes out there with that skinny body and with a toothpick arm and try to do curls. Who's he comparing himself to? Popeye's wife? Well, in any case, my friend, to be continued. And I want you to check on my website, LeroyColbert.com, and you see the beginning from the time, show you when I was 15 years old, when I had a better body than any of those vegans he's talking about now when I was just 15, eating chicken, fish, and steak. Look at it. Also check in Mr. Rocky Lover. Search it, MrRockyLover.com. Now, I may be sliding a little because I got no business up here this time of night talking about this shit. I really shouldn't, but it's where my mind goes, running all the time. So I said, let me get up and give this vegan gain fella a piece of my mind. Just the thought of him make me want to throw up. He's sitting back there like he knows something. Talking about cardiologists and all these kind of people like they're athletes. Can you imagine? Just think about it, my friends. James Toney's manager came to me and said, I can help him. I'm going to pull out a book about what a cardiologist said. Can you imagine that? Unbelievable. Well, anyhow, to be continued.
Wait a minute. Before you click away, I want you to subscribe, like, comment, hell, even dislike if you want to. At least do something before you get out of here.